What makes a Mario Kart track make you go? Throughout its 33-year-long tenure, the franchise has time and time again managed to grow and capture that classic Nintendo magic. Having grown up with the latter half of the games, I can come to appreciate just how far the franchise has come. Its mostly flat, forgettable circuits of yesteryear have now morphed into cruise ships, pinball machines, and oh no, God, please. This song sucks! At its worst, tracks are good, serviceable, though the majority of the catalog lies in the greatness zone, where fun is practically guaranteed. But at the very top lies the creme de la creme. Your Maple Treeways, Big Blues, you get the idea. These are icons recognized by everyone, as they usually hone in on one or two key components that make them popular among the casual and the competitive crowd. They challenge the player to a hard but satisfying level of skill, one that demands a trance-like state of precise inputs and tactical knowledge. Their visuals blow the player away, making them forget that this is just a game where cars go brrr, meow, meow. And lastly, a track's design has to go above and beyond, ensuring a rhythmic dance between straights, turns, and jumps. Lord knows Mario Kart World needs this.
Mamma mia!
But I digress. Out of these characteristics, I believe that there's only been a single track that does all of these to its highest form. Only one track that can change lives and turn boys into men. Back when it released, it shifted the franchise's culture and paved the way for the current Mario Kart landscape. Nothing has truly reached the level of greatness and influence this single track brought to the series. Every game's had it, but only one has perfected it. Let's talk about... Mario Kart Wii, well, how do I put this? Let's just say it has a lot of jank. Unlike the more polished feel of later games, Mario Kart Wii's car handling feels noticeably floatier and wild. There's no smart steering, auto acceleration, none of that bullcrap. Back then you had to do everything by hand, every drift, every turn, every move. Don't get me wrong, we still do that in modern titles, but it's clear that the franchise has always been pandering more towards a casual crowd, adapting towards the moms and the dads that might pick up the game once in a while to play with their kids. Or Mario Kart players. Oh, the little baby fell over a cliff. Well, too bad. Newer games tend to go easier on punishing for bad driving or getting hit. But back then, one wrong step and you'd have to work yourself back to the top. Don't get me started with the item distribution. Holding on to items was a feasible strat that was actually rewarded, but it demanded caution. You're trying to smuggle a pair of mushrooms or a star and someone pushes you into a pit, or God forbid a shock is activated? Too bad, bro. So, the game was hard, generally unresponsive, and it sounds kind of like garbage to play, right? Wrong! If you took your time to learn the jank, the game would reward you with some of the most satisfying racing you're ever gonna experience. Too bad the items are still unbalanced as fuck. But still, it's kind of fun. So picture this. You're a kid heading home from another boring school day. You boot up your good old CRT and head to the cup list. One final cup catches your attention. The special cup. And my God, would you look at that crown. Proof you beat the single hardest gauntlet in the game. Going through it was not gonna be easy, but you already got this far. Wouldn't you want to be crowned as the king of the game? It's just 4 tracks away, and every other cup you have has a gold trophy already. So you steel yourself and press play. The path to the multicolored space highway is a story filled with happiness and despair. You over here. Yeah, you have to go through 3 of the hardest stages the game has to offer. So don't even think you can beat the boss if you can barely stand up against its lackeys. Starting off with its weakest, yet still kind of endearing track, Dry Ruins. I do have to agree that this track is one of the better desert tracks in the franchise. The ruins have a nice change of pace, and there's this gimmick where the sand starts to pile up more and more the further into the race you get. Pillars also fall to their sides occasionally, allowing players to trick off of them. It slightly changes how you go around the map from the first lap to the third lap, and it'll look and work different the longer the race goes on. It's a feature that would be picked up again in later titles, but not fully developed until World came around. Sonically, I mean, yeah, the music's alright, desert track music. But hey, at least the music that's playing outside the temple is different from the one inside, which gives it extra vibe points in my opinion. I like to think of it more as of a warm-up just to get your fingers loose and your brain reacting. But don't get too comfortable, as up next is holy shit! Oh my god, Moonview Highway, how I missed you. This right here, you see this?
This is art, Mr. White.
This is vibe. Everything from the streets, the lights, the music screams chaos. This is the first track that truly tests your limits. The moving cars, shortcuts, the blind corners, they're all designed to constantly keep you on top of your game. One slip up, goodbye. And do take in the beautiful sights though, as this is one of the few tracks that properly leverages the game's rendering and post-processing compared to others. I always see people talking about how Mario Kart Wii kinda looks like shit. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that sentiment, because I do believe that, yeah, it can look low-res, oversaturated, and the polygonal models, yeah, they're a bit dated. But this is a clear example on how post-processing can enhance an experience. It doesn't subtract from it, it enhances the visual style. You start out on a winding ridge overlooking a view of a forest and the lake down below. Make a couple of turns, cross the bridge into the city, and you've got this Mac 2 Night aesthetic with bloom that I really enjoyed as a kid. I remember it looking leagues better on a CRT than a modern flat screen, as many games from this era were made with this in mind. Every light source, from the street lights, the windows, to the character's own glow, embrace that magical smoothness that is emblematic of the Wii's era. If you want another example, you can look at Sonic Colors' Tropical Resort, or basically any other stage from that game. That game's also beautiful. Couple this with one of the top 3 musical tracks this game has, and that bombastic intro that's just brimming with synths and a snare, and you've got the best mood setter in the whole game. Later on, the music features this little lick or breakdown basically where the synths just go. That goes way too fucking hard. And once you enter the city part of the stage, the synths actually change into more airy-like leads, which is so cool because paired with the cars honking and the street noise, it just makes a delicious late-night drive experience. It has this vibraphone that makes it just sound so funky and jazzy. Oh my god. I can't believe Nintendo's so stupid to not add music sliders in their games. It's as if Jesus headed down to Earth just to be bitch slapped with an IRS form and a pumpkin spice. Oh shit, drum fill! I would absolutely recommend the Mario Kart 8 Booster Pass version. It's just straight Eurobeat, man. Apparently the masochists over at Nintendo just wanted to have the last laugh, because this track has a lot of freaking cars, man. These little will always find a way to ruin the fun. One moment you're driving like it's Initial D, and the next you just get mushed into lasagna by some soccer mom in her dinky ass Kia. There's 3 blind corners where you just drift and hope to God nothing hits you. Because I don't know if you know, but this game was made in Japan, and Japanese people drive on the wrong side of the road. So you've got to be extra careful not to be squished in these turns. Jesus. And don't even get me started with those bomb cars. I give this track a 10 out of 10. It just has everything for adrenaline junkies. The layout is aggressive, chaotic, fun. Something is happening everywhere in the screen. And it's super rewarding to the people willing to put in the time to learn it. And it's one of the more realistic looking tracks, as if you're in an actual world. I mean, not that I'd want an open world Mario Kart or anything. As the prelude to the hardest track in the game, Bowser's Castle Wii is no slouch in any department. From the castle to the cool Bowser in the middle of the track, it's all tightly formed to, once again, be difficult. The whole track is out for blood, or at least slows you down. Thwomps will squash you, lava pits will burn you.
Lava pits will burn you. Lava pits will...
And the bumpy terrain outside can make noobs go off course. Fortunately, most of these are timed, and when you get the hang of it, you'll probably stop getting hit by them. I remember as a kid thinking that the corridor with the Bowser statue was so freaking cool. I loved doing the half pipes to get around his fireball, which once again is an element they'd reuse for future Mario Kart titles. Jesus, this game just has everything. And I mean, true, if it ain't broke, just don't fix it. So far, it's been rough, but as a kid, you were ready for the final track. As you cross the finish line, you start to feel like you can take on anything, like the story is about to reach its conclusion. Not without hitting the climax, though. You're finally here and oh my god, it's just enchanting. After everything you've been through, the drastic change in tone between the previous dark, brooding track is juxtaposed by the immediate warmth you feel. This is the peak. Now you just have to own it. I mean, just look at it. It's like Fruitiger Arrow, but space. And everything reinforces that. The glowing auroras that stretch across the void, the rings of floating debris, the earth literally looming beneath you. Like any other Rainbow Road, the track contrasts pretty nicely with the darker and subtler space background. These elements don't clash, but they harmonize. They provide you a stable focus on where you have to go, while keeping you aware of everything else. And as with Moonview Highway, the Wii's graphical limitations actually help the appearance, because instead of trying to look modern or realistic like it does on Mario Kart 8, which as a side note probably has the weakest Rainbow Road, this rendition of the track leans into a more surreal, ethereal glow that we've never seen before and will never see again, as the newer games opt in for a mix of cartooniness and realism that, while it looks good, fails at capturing a distinct style, and in my opinion blends in together a little bit too much. Now back to the track. As Nintendo had just cooked with one of the best games of the generation, Mario Galaxy, that game's identity spills all over the track. There's star bits and other star-like structures that are littered throughout the screen at all times.
You are Mr. Gay.
Even the music has a melody below the base melody playing the Good Egg Galaxy theme. But let's just hold on for a while before we talk about the music, okay? Let's talk about the general acoustics, because the amount of thought put into this track is just so freaking cool. Drifting gives you this glassy noise. The boosters twinkle when you drive into them, and the star cannon sound effect is just... Whew. That warm, graceful, harp-like arpeggio just makes it so freaking magical. They even added special sound effects for when you crash into the railings, which you can actually hear in your remote. I remember back when I had my Wii that there was nothing like playing late at night with the TV volume all the way down, and I had to stay quiet, but it'd be occasionally interrupted by... Now let's actually head into the music. I've already played the song's intro twice, not just to introduce the track, but because it's such a perfect opening to a song. It immediately establishes that it's sweet, grandiose. During the first half, you'll notice that the melody rises. A sound that evokes joy, courtesy of the Lydian mode for you music nerds out there. But during the second half, you'll notice that it starts off from the same note, but slowly descends as it prepares to take you to the verse. Just give me this moment, okay? Close your eyes and really focus on the instruments at play here. Whether it's the strings, the bells, the drums, okay? Just enjoy. If you take notice, the song actually has a lot of orchestral flair to it. Whether it's the big bass drum producing a deep sound, or the constant strumming of strings along with the melody, you can hear this tranquil, wispy movement. And when a phrase ends, the horns come in to add the bombastic flair that truly makes this feel epic. This song is a mix between a full-on orchestra and Nintendo's more electronic soundscape. And just going surface level on the theory of this song for a little bit, during the chorus, which you just heard, the song modulates a half step down. It's almost as if the center of the song got shifted to the left or downwards. This is what allows it to embrace the bittersweetness of a final track. The end was always a goal, but knowing it's all coming to a close, that's what makes this song even more special and memorable, as it'll stick with you for years after you complete the game. So yeah, all of these elements give the track a solid identity and something nice to look and listen to. But what about the track itself? As the longest and hardest track in the game, Rainbow Road does not hold its punches. Starting with the first turn, where you're quickly gonna notice, where are the rails? Yeah, that's what you're gonna learn first. There's basically no rails in most of the parts. Some of the more complicated turns have rails, or during the beginning of the track when you cross a new lap. But other than that, you're up to your own not to go falling down like a dumbass. It's amazing how spoiled the community is with inside drifting bikes. Because the moment I use a car or an outside drifting bike in the game, I just fall over and over and over again. Seriously, how did I beat this as a kid with a cart and a fucking Wii wheel?
Tony Stark was able to build this in a cave with a box of scraps.
Now that you're fully focused on the map, you're gonna trick off the cool wavy bridge and zooming towards the two big holes. You go around them at first, but you notice a possible cut you could do with a mushroom.
Or if you're goated in the game, like me.
But then comes the hardest part out of the whole stage.
The S-turn.
A series of two tight turns that have some jank due to the way the floor tilts. This isn't like the no-graph sections of Mario Kart 8. This part is just a bendy little bitch. And something similar will show up as we go through the star cannon and onto the cool half-pipe thingamabob. When you go through one of the two sides, I've always gone right, you got this little star tunnel thing going on, which is really nice, but don't let it distract you, as the outsides of the track here are bent down, as I said. And they're a pain to drive on, okay? So stay near the middle, hit the edges of the boost pads, and you're golden. Sounds easy, right? Okay, well try doing this in an actual race where people are constantly bombarding you with red shells, shocks, POW blocks, and the blue shell. Yeah, it's not that fun when you're constantly being thrown items, as most times when getting hit, you're gonna fall off the stage. Whatever the case, most players, including myself, not just remember the frustration and rage when playing this track, but also remember the satisfaction of scoring that sweet #1 spot when the third lap came to a close. Revisiting Rainbow Road allowed me to see what I would have usually ignored. The stories laid in the track, the architectural intent that developers had. It's like actually paying attention when your grandpa's telling the same story over and over again. You get to understand why it stayed with them, how it molded and possibly influenced their way of being. I like to believe that it's something similar here. Not just me, but everyone who chose to remember this track had an experience that was worth keeping. It could be because of the mastery over an insurmountable challenge, the beauty and serenity of the set piece, or maybe just the design and flow state it creates. Whatever the reason, we stuck through it, and the track transcends, a testament to the player's love for the track. I'm just saying, there's a reason why it's been popular throughout meme culture, and why speedrunners are still setting world records and finding cracked level ultra shortcuts in it. What the fuck was that? Everyone from the biggest fan to the casual player might reminisce about this track, because Rainbow Road isn't just a final exam. It's a memory capsule. So if you ever find yourself picking up the game again, boot up the special cup. You'll know where to go. Oh wow, you stuck to the end of the video? Oh, okay. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really tried my best with this one, especially considering that it's my 10th video on this channel. Still, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, feel free to throw them down in the comment section. I read all comments, okay? Thank you so much for being a part of this, and I hope to see you on the next one.